I see everybody. Morning, Zola. Shanice. I see you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good day.
Hello, everyone. It is Friday. We're all here. I see you, Meep and Master Yourself on Twitter. Miss McQueen, I see you here on Fanbase, darling. Sonia, I see you. Let us begin. Practice. You see, this is the weekend, and get caught up. But remember yourselves. Remember why you do what you do. You do what you do because you want a better life. You want a better way of living. That is your desire. As you go through the weekend, remember that situations may arise. Remember yourself and how you deal with situations. Right? Remember these things. We go through the weekend with the awareness that, how do I want this to turn out? How do I want this to go? How do I want to be? That's the question. It's not that the weekend is here and we get to forget ourselves. You have a great time, but you decide what that great time is. You decide how you'll behave. Will you allow yourself to be polarized? Or will you observe what is happening and act accordingly? Ultra. Right? Because this week was rather intriguing. We learned a lot this week. Take a moment now and let us find ourselves. A nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. One more time. Take your time with it. Breathe in through the nose and exhale through the nose. That's what we do. Now, the feeling of calm. You know, as you're just laying there in the mornings before you get out of bed, and there's just that sense of, this is nice. See if you can pull that feeling up in your body. Just practice. See if you can pull it up in your body. Good. Now, remember that feeling and repeat it often. Simply because the frame of mind that you want to put yourself in going through the weekend. You have chores to do, you have errands to do. If you find yourself being overwhelmed, pull up that feeling of calm. If you don't know where to start with your chores or your errands, pull up that feeling of calm. And the minute you do that, you will get a sense of clarity. And when you get that sense of clarity, you'll know exactly what direction to go in. That's why we practice. We practice so that we can become excellent at what we practice. That's the whole idea. Why you do what you do. So what are we going to practice? We're going to practice telling our bodies what we want it to do by way of bringing up or stimulating the body to feel the sensation that you would like to have. The reason is, if you go out there, say you go out there and the day's going great, And you want to test yourself and see, oh, can this day get any better? Can it be more fantastic? Bring up that sensation to match that feeling of, ooh, this is nice. This is a fantastic day. Bring that feeling up. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. If you can hold it for 5 seconds, that feeling in your body, that sensation in your body, great. 10 seconds, great. The point is the combination of the duration and the amount of time. This is what we're going for. I can, Zenobia. I'll get there in a moment. But do you see what I'm saying? Because this is when most emails come in. Oh my God, Angela, I got tripped up on the weekend. I didn't even know what to do. I forgot myself. Right? So allow yourself to simply observe what is going on around you. And then you decide, do I partake or do I move on? This is always, every day you do it. Every day. And sooner or later, sooner rather than later, you'll begin to notice that you don't even have to remind yourself. Why? Because autopilot will kick in. Because that means your habit has taken root. Your bamboo is beginning to shoot, is what it means. Right? This is what it is. So anytime you catch yourself having an unsavory conversation with yourself, what are you going to do? Oh, yes. That's why we practice on a daily basis. Practice, practice, practice. Not because you're being forced to, but because you are driven to practice because you want to change. And the simple desire of wanting to change will help you. It will walk hand in hand with you, but it won't drag you anywhere. It'll just pull you right through. It will pull you right through every time. So you see, the memory of the law, the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. The simple act of recalling any law that you know will assist you every single time. How will it assist you? It will help you to change your perspective, change your thought. And the feeling in your body will change. And you'll look at this thing differently. This is what happens. And there's no need to doubt it. There's no need to question it because you see it around you every single day. Every day you see it. This weekend, what is something that you enjoy doing? That was the question I got yesterday was, how do you find your burgers? Find it, it's not lost. It's embedded in something that you enjoy doing. Find that thing that you enjoy doing and begin to do it. It will do something to you in return. Mutual benefit, remember? It will fuel you. It will fuel you when you do what you enjoy. You know how this happens by way of law, right? As within, so without. But it will raise your vibration when you do something that you enjoy because you're at ease, you're at peace, you're alive. Yes, your spirit is settled within you. no inner turmoil at all. So the vibration naturally raises. And then voila, something exciting happens. You go somewhere, somebody pays for something for you out of the blue. You don't even know them, but they're like, pay it forward, right? And they do something good for you. Or you get the inspiration to do something good for someone else. Follow the inclination. We call it intuition. Follow it. It is there for a purpose. That's still small voice. You see, and the more you practice, the more you'll begin to feel and hear that still small voice, because it will speak to you. And then this overwhelming peace, well, we wouldn't call it overwhelming, really. It's just so strong, that feeling, that sensation that happens in your body when your inner voice speaks. You know what to do when that happens. So the more time you practice, that response for your intuition, it develops all on its own, because you are honing yourself. This is what you're doing. Lots of things happen when you practice. But I can't sit still for 3 minutes. Then walk. Not everybody's personality is the same. Right? Not everybody's personality is the same. You won't feel the way I do. I won't feel the way you do. But if you do what it is, if you do what it is that inspires you, then you begin to get a sense of, oh, I should do this. Oh, I should do that. And you do it with ease. And then people say, how do you know what to do? Let me use it, well, my intuition. They're like, what? Oh, this is what it comes down to. So when you practice, remember, do it with pleasure. Do it with pleasure. What is the sense of practicing if you're going to be dragging yourself? Well, that's no fun at all, because you know what kind of vibration that is. And the type of vibration exposes you to experiences that match it. So then you come back to that question. What do I want to experience? You'll get so good at it. You won't even have to ask yourself what you want to experience. You'll just do it. You will. You're already doing it. You just haven't seen it yet, but you're doing it. It is the nature of your design. But what if this person doesn't like me? What if this person is calling me out my name, as the kids say? What's that have to do with you? There's no need to. This is what the law teaches. You will learn when to defend and when to be quiet. Not every fight has to be taken out. You will know exactly how to behave. Oh yeah, but you don't have to do it. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know what they're saying. Remember the law of gender. They are projecting something. And whatever they're projecting, are you willing to allow your subconscious mind to become impregnated with it? That's what's important here. What are you willing to allow yourself to be impregnated with mentally? What kind of offspring do you want to bring forth? More peace in your life? More tranquility? If that's the case, then you know how to behave. We don't actually have enemies. It is just the perception. Just the perception. The way you've spoken to yourself over and over again brings that thing. So watch what you do. Notice the key word, watch. You're observing. You are the awareness looking at what's happening. This is what we practice, watching ourselves so that we can move accordingly. You'll get there where you can just watch it and say, and not have to do anything about it. This is the focus. Practice at every single opportunity. You make time of your day to do it. That cannot be stressed enough. But Angela, I still don't get it. I just want to give up. So the old memory has you. The old memory has you. And that's why you feel that way. But if you change the perspective, what are you looking at? What are you sitting there and entertaining? Because when you're off on the weekends, there's no real schedule, right? Nobody really telling you what to do. So you find yourself with this downtime. Wash the floors. Engage the body. Give it a task. This way, you are breaking that thing that you used to do. You're breaking it up. Meaning, when that thought comes that you don't like, you're saying, wait, no. That's just a memory. You think you hear this a lot from me, but consider how long we've been doing things this way and engaging in those thoughts. Consider how long we've been doing that compared to how many times we hear to do something differently. Now it begins to make sense. But I've been doing this. Yeah, it's always been that way. But now that you recognize that you don't have to remain the same, that's what practice will do for you. What are you going to practice? You are going to practice being in control of your thoughts, of your inner conversations. Direct them the way you want to go. How? When you get a thought that you don't want, interject the thought that you do want. And every time you swing between unsavory and good, that's what you keep doing until you stay where you put your mind, on the good. It's a matter of rhythm. You'll get it. But when you give in and you say, I can't do this, it's just that you've been doing it the other way longer. That's the difference between the two things. You've just been doing it longer. So today, as you go through this weekend, watch yourself. Pay attention to you. If there's somebody that calls you and that is upsetting, block the number. This is what it is. If you don't want to go out, stay home. Whatever it takes to help you get your mind in the right place. If that just means you to disengage for a moment. That's all. A walk in nature if possible. It snowed today. So I'm sure we'll get outside. But just take a moment to have time and space for you. We take that for granted, you know. Oh, I gotta go see this person, or I gotta hang out with this person. But when are you going to hang out with you? When are you going to spend time with you? Oh, but that's boring, Angela. Spend time with myself. What is that supposed to mean? If you don't enjoy your own company, who will? I have this question. Somebody said, well, I'm trying to find this love, but nothing I do seems to make it change. You know exactly how that will change. The love on the inside is recreated on the outside. You can't get it on the outside if it's not within you. And nobody wants to hear that because they think, well, that's not possible. You're supposed to be able to. You create your experiences. Either you know that or you don't know that. And if you don't know it, you will create things that just make you shake your head and say, what have I done? Why is this happening to me? But if you know what you're doing, even one iota, if you know, you gotta be careful with that thought. I want to go from to. Remember the law of polarity. From that thought to this one. That's what you practice doing. All day, every day. Yes, Zenobia. We are looking for what is already there. So how do you stop looking for it? You accept what you have. Accept the fact. And I know that can be a little challenging when you say to someone, well, everything that's happened in your life so far, it's all on you. Because the first thing you want to do when you hear that is to fight and say, no, it's not. Have you seen my life? 0 to 7 is not on you. 7 to 14 is not on you. What's on you is then you become aware of what happened to you and that you are there. Yes, the awareness. When you become aware of what happened, you look back and you say, oh my God, really? That really happened to me. Now you can do something. But you're not supposed to blame. There shouldn't be a blame. Blame causes you to not change. It keeps you in a very low vibration when you blame others and you blame yourself. This is first-hand experience. Blame. Oh, but that's easy for you to say because you didn't have to go through it. No, I may not have gone through it, but I've gone through my own things. So when I tell you I understand about blame, I'm pointing the finger. You did this to me. It is totally okay to acknowledge that your parents were not great. And if they were, acknowledge that they are, or that they were. That's what you do. You acknowledge what happened. You say, that wasn't very good. But what do I want for me now? Because you know there's something better. Nobody has to tell you that there's something better. You know that there is because you feel it. You sense it. That's what you know. And so when you know there's something better, as long as you start there, you know there is, you'll begin to see what is better. That is why practice is important. It sharpens your awareness. There's no space for sitting back on the haunches now, resting on your laurels, and just taking it as it comes. There's no more of that. This popular saying, you take the bull by the horns. Imagine that for a moment. There's a bull in front of you and you've got it by the horns. What is it? It can't do anything. You've got it by the horns. You are now guiding it. So that's what you're doing with your life. You are saying, I am taking control of this situation, but not just control of that and then, oh, not this. No, you take control of all of the aspects of your life. And the more you practice, you are empowered to do that. Every single situation you possibly could encounter, you are in charge of that. Self-management, you're in charge of it. Isn't that a good feeling? You get to dictate what's going to happen, as opposed to, please, master, tell me what to do. No, that's not a good place to be. We're not at the bottom of anything. Spirit rises. That's what you do. That's what I do. And it gets easier the more you practice. What are you going to practice? Let's recap really quickly. You practice taking control of your every thought. And the best and easiest way, the path of least resistance, the way to do that is to choose the thought. That way you don't have to control it, but you choose it. You say, this is how I'm going to feel. This is how I'm going to behave. This is where I'm going to go. This is what I'm going to get done. The difference between that and, I wonder what I should do. I don't know what to do. What if I'm wrong? You can't be. Simply take charge. This is who I am. That is what we do. This is who I am. This is how we take charge of who we are. As opposed to, well, I really don't know what I want to do or what I feel like doing. If you don't know what you feel like doing, stop for a moment and breathe. Something will come to mind. What are you running from? You may not be running from anything. You just may not know. And that's your cue to take a moment and just breathe. That's your cue. But the more you practice, the more deliberate you become. And you say, I only accept this. I only do that. That's being deliberate. That's how you set your boundary. But that's what the law teaches you how to do. So that you don't end up in a sticky situation where I didn't know how I got here. You didn't tell yourself what to do. That's how you got there. So, practice being deliberate with your life. It does not matter if somebody says, well, that's not possible, or that's too big, dream a little bit smaller. That's irrelevant to you. That's their projection. You don't know where it's coming from, but you know they're projecting it. If you have examined your situation and you said, I know what I want and I know what I'm going to do, then sit down and look at polarity. From, and there's that line in between. That line in between are all the action steps that you need to do. But the moment you say you want to move from to, the first step becomes clear. You've already taken the first step. And the second step will show itself, and also the third. And they will come by way of ideas. They will come by way of inspiration. Oh, you should do that. Oh, go here. You're never left hanging. Let's take a moment to acknowledge the people in the space. Twitter. Hello, Jeff. Muck45 Tide Talks. Me, Tiffany and Javion are here. Shea, butter, and master yourself. Welcome to the space this morning. Fan base, because you guys are in my hands, right? Zola, my iPad. Gotta hold that. Zola is here. Shanice is here. Miss McQueen, Miss Ravioli. Casey is here. My melanin. Him done. Toyera and Shea, you're here. Let's look at YouTube. Ms. M, good morning and thank you for your contribution. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Zenobia, David, Empress Ella. Good morning, Tracy. Double A Vibes, welcome. Ana, Ultra, Asonia, I see you all. Thank you so very much for being here this morning. Zola, did you have a question? Maybe not.
I'm sorry, you got me when I stepped away from the phone. No, I don't.
That's okay. Oh, Asonia, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution, my darling. Greatly appreciated. So you see this morning, be deliberate. Practicing will cause you to become more deliberate in every action that you take. This is what will happen to you. You will look at a situation and you will know, that's for me, or that's not for me. But you'll know. You'll know exactly what to do because of the more you practice. And you practice by being the one to decide what you will do and what you will not do, what you will tolerate and what you will not tolerate. As within, so without. So if you tolerate yourself doing nonsense and engaging in foolish inner talk, what will you have to tolerate on the outside? Exactly. You see it, you know it. Then we do what we know. That's why Maya Angelou can say, when you know better, you do better. We're always in a state of learning. And this is why, if you practice encouraging yourself instead of beating yourself up, you'll grow a lot faster. You can't talk to the plant in your house and say, oh, you pesky thing, I'm always watering you. What do you think is going to happen to the plant? The same thing happens to you. So make that decision that you're going to practice. You know what? I only speak to myself in a way of edification. I only speak to myself. If I'm going to correct myself, I say, oh, we're going from that behavior to this one. Remember that? That's what you tell yourself. You don't go, oh, you don't know no better. You don't say that to yourself. But you've got to make that initial decision to say, I only speak in a way that edifies, that encourages. And even if you stumble, even if you falter, even if you take a moment to say, I don't know, you will get up and go, we got this in the bag, baby. We can do this because we're learning a new way to be. We are practicing a new way to be. And when you do that, that's how you do it. You will find that you rise to the occasion. That is how we practice. You declare what you will practice. That is taking life in hand instead of life slapping us about. And you know, life can only slap you about when you don't know how it works. When you just go along with the status quo. Oh, you know, life is hard. Life is a struggle. Anot, thank you. Thank you very much for your beautiful contribution as well. It is greatly appreciated. So today, let us focus on what we're going to practice. And the next time somebody says to you, "Well, you're positively radiant, you're glowing," you can have that warm feeling inside because you know where it comes from. You know that that's the work you put in. You put in that work. What work? Redirecting yourself, monitoring your inner conversations. That's the work you're doing. The mental work will determine the exterior work. That's exactly what you're doing, and that's exactly why you practice. Because whatever you practice on the inside is what you get to live out on the outside. Not because I say so, but because the law is. So know and understand why you practice. You practice so that you can shape the experience that you want to have. As they tell us, none of us are getting out of here alive. So then live, and live abundantly. But I can't. Yes, yes you can. Who told you that you can't? And because you heard I can't, that is only a memory. So look back through your memories and see all the things that you have done and done well. Look back at those things that you've done well. This is how you practice. If you look back and you see something that you did that you weren't pleased with, and you say, oh, okay, I can tweak that. Yeah, I'll do it this way this time. You see, there's no judgment in that because you're learning a new way to be. But don't you ever look back and condemn yourself. Because you know why? The minute you pick it up and you hold on to it, has been so well. But if you look at it and you examine it and you say, oh, that's where I need to change, now your outward expression can also change. That is why we practice. Because every day that you do, you will catch yourself saying, oh my God, I remember when I used to. That is a technique from Neville Goddard, you know. And the reason why he could come up with such a technique is because that's what we do naturally. We say, remember when? Exactly. So if you want to change, you can employ these things that we do naturally. Because when you move forward in your life and you look back, that's the first thing you say. I remember when. And you get this sense, this sensation in your body of pride. Oh, but Angela, pride comes before a fall. There's a difference between pride of self, meaning I did that, I will do it again. You're your cheerleader. But if you have no pride in what you do, you think an artist does his artwork and goes, it's just crap. No, he goes, I did that. Well, I see where I can get better, but I did that. That's my great work. But he's not walking around and shoving it in people's face and go, oh, do you like my work? No. There's that quiet sense of appreciation. Self-pride. You take pride in what you do, and the reason why you take pride in what you do is because you will always give your best. Because you take pride in your work. You don't do sloppy work. That is pride of self. Because you always do the best. Practicing will show you that. So we don't walk around with this sense of false humility. that you have to always say, humble yourself. What now? You have to browbeat yourself? No. When you know you do good work, you own that. I did that, and I like what I do. As opposed to, oh, well, thanks. You really think it's nice? Well, I really did try. Uh-uh. You don't see creation out there saying, oh, well, I really did try with that one snowflake, but I didn't get the pattern the way I wanted. No, she shows you every individual snowflake pattern with pride because she did it. She owns that. Even though you have to shovel it, she still owns it. That's what you do. Take ownership of the beauty that you bring into this world. So that when you look upon it, you'll say, I can spread more beauty. That is what you do. And your practice will show you that. Every time. It'll show you when you're out of line, because it will feel that way in your body. Ooh, we call it the ego. Only due time. But it will make more sense the more you practice. Like calligraphy. You don't start out being a pro, but the more you practice, and then you sit back and you look at it, and you go, oh my God, I'm getting better. I did that. Practice. But that's what I'll leave you with, so that you understand. When you go through this weekend, you are well equipped. Well equipped. To do what? Exactly what you want to do. Remember mutual benefit always. Remember that always. Because when you go out into the world and you do something, you don't just benefit from that, but others do. Just like if you go out into the world and you create harm, you don't just create harm for you, you create it for other people. Mutual. This is why the law encourages that you always think the highest, so that you can be the highest. That is it. Be your best self. So go through this weekend with a pep in your step. That's what we do. Remember, today at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Q&A workshop, where we go through step by step what we do with that question you have. And if you have not gotten your question in, there is still time to do so before 3:30 p.m. You can slide into my DMs. Synovia, you had asked a question. I think I will send you, check your Instagram messages. If you still have access to your Instagram, check your messages there. There should be a link. Ah, yes. Thank you, Ms. M, for that reminder. It was you projecting that reminder that reminded me. Yeah, because it came through just as you were saying, just as I was saying it, it came through to me. Yes. I will send it to you in your Insta, Synovia. If you let me know if you still have access to your Instagram, and I'll send it to you there. Because there's a link for it. I don't remember it offhand. Okay, octopus hands. Let's go with this. I don't know. I don't want to mess anything up. I haven't done that before, typed at the same time that a live stream is going. But it's on the community tab for YouTube, if you have access to that. If not, let me type. I'm typing, y'all. Multitasking. There. That's the email in there for you, Zenobia. Awesome. So before we go, are there any questions that, well, actually, you know what? Bring that question to the Q&A today. That's what I'll say, because that way you get your step by step, and that's how we'll do it. And remember, again, February the 1st, nighttime guided meditation returns. There's so much coming right now. So I will also, in the community tab, the first quarter, all of the workshops are there. So you see what's happening. They have their titles and so on. So you know where we're headed and what we do, right? What we're going to be taking on and what we're going to be learning about. I think in February, we're also speaking about forgiveness in the next workshop. That is sure to be a good one. But yes, if at any time you have a topic you want to expand upon by way of law and you'd like to discuss it, definitely send it to me in my DMs and we'll do a workshop around that one. Right? We'll do that. So, countdown initiated. Oh, wait, but for the others who did not show themselves in the chat, I still welcome you. It's just that you didn't tell me who you were. I can't call your name if I don't know. But anonymous, welcome to the space. All right, everybody. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love, Twitter. I see you. Much love. Twitter is closed. Fanbase. I see you all. Thank you all for being here today. Greatly appreciated. And I will check my DMs for more questions, just in case you didn't get yours in yet. I will check for those right here on Fanbase. I will see you soon. Fanbase is closed. YouTube, it's just us. Landon, hello. Salut. Thanks for being here. You'll have to catch the replay, though. It's great to see you, Landon. And so everyone who generously supported me this morning, I want to shout you out again. Ms. M, thank you for your generous contribution. Sonia, thank you for your generous contribution. And Anot, thank you for your generous contribution as well as the members of the channel. Thank you. It is greatly appreciated. That Walker girl, hello. I've never said your name before, have I? Welcome to the space. Ah, David, what a beautiful question. I'm going to repeat that question also in the workshop today. Oh, Tracy, you know what? We all do, honey. We all do. But that's why that workshop is really important. Because once you understand, you'll do it. Yeah. So David, yes. How to remove fear from your mind. Fear is a memory. The thing that you are afraid of is the memory. So the brain works by way of association. So if you've got a spider or you've got a roach, I don't know, you don't like those things, or you're scared of those things, that's what you're afraid of. So the association, every time you see a creepy crawly, you get the fear. If it's water, you see, it's a memory. Something happened somewhere that created that fear based upon the memory. So when you're talking to yourself about, oh, I'm afraid of that, doesn't matter what the fear is, right? Because fear is what it is, it's fear. So to eliminate fear, courage is on the other end. Why are you afraid? What has happened? You need to acknowledge what happened that created the fear in the first place. Because once you acknowledge that, then you can move from fear to courage. But if you don't, if it remains hidden to you, then the association between that thing and the fear remains. So you have to acknowledge what you're afraid of and why. Once you acknowledge that, you can, that's your first step between fear and courage. See the line you draw on your paper? That's the first step. Why am I afraid? What happened? That's your first step, is the acknowledgement of it. So once you acknowledge it, now you can say, oh, okay, I get it. Is it rational or is it irrational? Is it a fear of the unknown? There aren't any really unknown things. Think about it for a minute. Cause and effect. They aren't unknown. So the fear of the unknown simply means you have to take more command to show how you want your life to be instead. Because if you dictate how your life will be, you'll eliminate that fear of the unknown. Because you're deciding what happens to you. Does that make sense? ADOT, can you send me your email? Where do you follow me on social media? Insta, Twitter? DM me your email so I can send you the link for 3 o'clock. So, okay, David, I'm glad that makes sense, because fear is just one of those things, right? And we all have some kind of a fear somewhere. That's why you have to know what it is, because then you can deal with it. You hear a noise, you gotta know what made that noise. You have to find it so you can deal with it. You can't deal with what's hidden, right? Are there any more questions before we go? Or do you want to save that question for the workshop at 3:30 p.m. today? It's totally up to you. Yeah, that was a good question, David. Thank you. Very good question. And that Walker girl, I see your message. Oh, fan base, really? It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. I trust that Anot is still in the space so that he will send me his email. But there you have it. Thank you all again for being here today. And I will see those of you who I'm seeing at 3:30. I am so looking forward to that, actually. It's exciting because I love the questions, and every day I get to look at the questions and look at the law, and you're like, like just to work it out, always by way of law to examine the situation. So thank you. And I will see you later. Tracy, you got the link, right? Because I did a members only post so that all of the YouTube members will have that link um, for the workshop this afternoon. But like I say, if you still have time to make it into the workshop, just hit up the community tab. Yeah, that's everything. You guys are awesome. Remember, enjoy your weekend abundantly. Enjoy it and practice. All right, everybody. I will catch y'all later.